Hi, and today we'll discuss coordinate geometry or 2D geometry. So, what is coordinate geometry? Coordinate geometry is that part of mathematics wherein we discuss plotting of points or plotting of any particular graph, on a 2D framework, which is x-axis and y-axis. So I think you must have heard of two-dimensional and three-dimensional figures, and you'd be knowing about x-axis and y-axis. So x-axis is the horizontal axis, which is represented here, and y-axis is the vertical axis, which is represented here. So the basic thing about x and y-axis is they are at a angle of 90 degree with each other. They meet up at a point which is called origin, which is here 0 0 is the coordinate of origin. Now usually the first number which we represent is the number which is uh, x-axis, okay, and the other one which we represent is the y-axis. So C is the origin or the point where an x and y-axis meet. Now two things are very important. For all the points on x-axis, the y component is 0. Similarly, for all the points on y-axis, x component is 0, which you can see here. Any point here, this is say this point we will plot 1 0, huh? So 5.10, what it says is it's on x-axis and its y component is 0, while its x component is will be 1. Similarly, for point 20 or 30 or 40, if you see, this is the positive x-axis, so all the x values on this side are positive, same as you study integer line or the number line. And the other side of the origin, which is the side which is not the positive side, will have negative numbers, so -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Same for y-axis. On this side you have positive y-axis, so all the numbers are growing, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. The other side of the origin on the y-axis, other numbers are decreasing, so you have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and so on. So that's how we read x and y axis. Now this quadrant, this quadrant is called first quadrant of the 2D plane, which is like this quadrant is called 2D first quadrant, right, of the two-dimensional axis. Now we'll delete it, it doesn't serve any purpose. I'm looking for sorry, uh, okay, here we go, delete that. Okay, so this is called first quadrant. So all the points here will have positive x value and positive y value. If you see A, which is 4 3, right, so 4 is its value on the x-axis and 3 is its value on the y-axis. So that is one point which we have plotted here. Now similarly, this side of xy plane wherein y will be positive while x could be negative is the second quadrant. third quadrant and fourth quadrant of xy axis. Okay. Most important thing in plotting points on the graphical, you know, interface in a 2D plane is that we know the coordinates of the plane, right? We know the coordinates of the point. Coordinates of the point is as good as you having a house address, your street address, your city address, your state address in the country. So that is the physical address of the point. That's how you identify where the point could be. Now, presuming I am plotting a point which makes a mark of 5 on x-axis and 6 on y-axis, where that point will be. So E is 5, 6, 5 and 6. Okay, 6 is not here, so we'll have to either enlarge it or maybe, rather take a lower value. We'll make it 5, 4. This is E. So its value on the y-axis is 4, value on the x-axis is 5. Same way, I can enter a point which has x as -5 and y also as y as +4. So that's f, which is -5 on the x-axis and 4 on the y-axis. I'll add another point which has x is also negative and y is also negative. That is here. Huh? The point has come here actually. Huh? It's not visible because, okay, now we'll add another point which is -3 and -3. So both at x and y are negatives. The point G is here, which is -3 on the x-axis and -3 on the y-axis. I'll add another point which is -2 and -1. That means it meets x-axis at -2 and y-axis at -1. So -2, -1, that is point H. I will keep adding some more points, and I'll add a point which is x component is positive and y component is negative. So that will lie in which quadrant or which part? The last one, which is fourth quadrant. Okay, so there is I which has x positive and y negative. Now presuming I am given some point and I have to find out its value, that also I can do by taking up the point here. Okay, here we go. So this point, yeah, what is the coordinate of this point? What are the coordinates of this point? That we'll see. That is definition 2 2. Okay. Okay. Now here. Alright. Okay. Or this point, which is like. So what is the value of j in coordinate axis? J is making a, you know, on x-axis if you draw a line from j, it's at 2. On y-axis it's at 4. So value of j is 2 4. This point we'll discuss. K is at -3 from x and 2 from y. So k's value will be, okay, put text, value of k would be text, value of k will be, okay, value of k is -4 and +2. So this is how we plot and read points in the x and y coordinates. Is it clear? Cancel. Okay. Now similarly for G point, if I got to add a box, I'll say G is at x is -3 and y is -3. So G is actually -3 -3. Correct? So as for this point, what is the value of this point? This is at +4 x-axis and -1 y-axis. Alright, so this is how we plot points on the 2D axis. One thing as you would have observed is that all the points in first quadrant, which is positive x and positive y axis, will always have positive x values and positive y values, while all the points in second quadrant, which is this one here, will have negative x and positive y. All the points in fourth quadrant, which is here, will have negative x and negative y. Alright, similarly, right, fourth quadrant, if you see, fourth quadrant, here, this is the fourth quadrant. So what is the property of fourth quadrant? Value of x will be positive, value of y will be negative. Where is the first quadrant? First quadrant is here. Right, what you see? Value of x is positive, value of y is also positive. Alright, so second quadrant, value of x is negative, value of y is positive. Value of x is negative, value of y is positive, which is visible here. All the x is negative, but I'll rather pick up the right one. So x is negative and y is positive. Correct? Third quadrant, you have y negative, right? And x is also negative. Correct? So all the positioning of points in this quadrant will have negative x and negative y. So that was the summary of 2D axis, two-dimensional coordinate geometry, and how to read points which are plotted in x and y axis, and how to plot points in x and y axis. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this one. We will, in our next class, we'll discuss how to draw a line using 2 points, 3 points, and various other figures. Thank you. Thanks a lot.